Hello and welcome to WP News at 11. I'm Heather Lucas. Today, making headlines is the controversial topic of deforestation through logging and timber harvests, specifically using clear cutting. Clear cutting is defined as cutting all the trees down and leaving no trees at all in an area. This is a cost-efficient way for harvesting timber, but at what cost to the environment? For so long, the timber industry, it seems, has only looked at the bottom line, the profits and losses to their industry. Today, we take a look into more than just the bottom line and bring a triple bottom line approach to this topic of deforestation to show a broader view on both sides of the controversies. The triple bottom line includes the profits and losses financially, but additionally adds two bottom lines to consider, the environmental and social impacts, to get a better analysis of the full societal cost benefit. Today, live on scene, we have reporter Holly Schell reporting on the financial bottom line for both the lumber industry and the conservationists protesting outside the industry. Here's to you, Holly.
Hi Heather, I'm here with Alex, the owner of DeVito & Sons Lumber, and we're going to be discussing a little bit of the benefits of his company in the industry that he's in. Alex, please give us a little bit of a background of your company.
Yep, so I work for a lumber manufacturing company. It's a third generation company. I'm the third generation and my son will be the fourth. And I employ 120 employees here in the state of Washington.
How does the lumber industry benefit our local community?
Well, here in the community, I employ 50% of the population, so half the town actually depends on my company to, provide for their families. In addition, everything that we're manufacturing is going into new building growth, and so a lot of the products that you're seeing here in Eastern Washington are actually coming from this area, whether it's from my farm or my lumber yards or someone else's.
So with building homes, you're also providing jobs in other industries. You build a new construction house, you're employing different contractors, so you'd be bringing in other people, electricians. Who else is involved in building a house?
Correct, yeah. So there's a lot of different companies that are involved. It's not just me. So, once it goes out into the field, we're going to have all the different elements of construction that are benefiting from this. And again, jobs that stimulate from that. And it's all, based here in the United States.
What actions are you taking to replenish the Earth's resources, such as trees?
Well, we have a sustainability program put in place. So every tree that we cut down, we actually plant one. It's a 100-year cycle, so we're making sure that we're actually providing new growth. We're not just cutting them down and not doing anything about it.
If you could give one piece of advice to the protesters that stand outside your office on a daily basis, what would it be?
If they don't mind bringing me lunch, I'd really appreciate it. Sometimes I can't get out of the gates, and I'm really hungry, and the Domino's guy can't get in.
Back to you, Heather.
Thank you, Holly, for covering the financial side of the triple bottom line within the lumber industry. As you just heard, the financial profits of harvesting timber reaches more than just the loggers and people working in the timber industry, but also it reaches and expands to the community surrounding it. It brings in contractors and business with it that brings revenue in that can boost the community's economy. And can I just say, Holly, thank you for interviewing a lumber industry that also does what it can to protect our environmental resources by not clear cutting and rather by using sustainable forestry tactics. Holly, you mentioned protesters. What are their thoughts on this? Back to you, Holly.
We're in Missoula, Montana at a rugby tournament here to spread awareness about deforestation and logging communities. Megan, tell me what all these rugby players are here to do today.
It's just a shame that they're taking away so many natural resources from existing communities, species.
So we're here to spread awareness, hopefully let people make people more aware of the harm that it can do on the environment. Thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
That added insight. It sounds like there are a lot of protesters out there wanting to bring more awareness to the real costs of deforestation. I think that's great. Next, we now have Taylor reporting live in Northern California, who has the environmental bottom line to share with us. Taylor, can you share with us what the differing points of view have to say about the environmental impacts of deforestation? Over to you, Taylor.
Good morning. Here I am live in Northern California. As you can see behind me, I am surrounded by trees, but you wouldn't have guessed that many of them are disappearing in the snap of an eye. The fast destruction of these trees due to high demands are leading this area to deforestation. Here I am with one of the workers of the lumber company, Wayne Lee, telling us his story and view.
I do what I'm told, and it's not by choice. It's in high demand right now, and I do what I have to do to make a living.
So what do you think about the action that's going to take place here in the next couple of weeks? It's not just one or a couple of trees, but it's more than half of the forest.
It wouldn't be good for the environment, but we are doing our best to avoid the worst case scenario. I've talked to my boss and the environmentalist that's in charge, and we're working on it.
So what do you consider the worst case scenario since you're chopping more than half of the forest down already?
That is the worst case scenario.
The farmers' crops are already affected by the drought. So what would you do when the trees are gone?
I think too much about it because it's out of my control and I can't fix it. All I can say is I'm doing my job and I'm doing what I'm told.
Thank you for your time. I don't want to keep you from your break. Well, there you have it. Wayne Lee from the lumber company telling us his views of what he... In a minute here, I will interview one of the protesters, which happens to be an environmentalist. Please stay tuned, and I'll be back. I am back live with environmentalist Megan Simmons to explain the effects of this action taking place today.
Many of us wouldn't know that cutting a few trees can hurt the forest. In this area, they're cutting down all the trees. This will have great effect towards the environment and those who live in and around the area.
Give me reasons why neighbors and everyone should be concerned over this matter.
This forest is filled with biodiversity that helps those who live in the area. Biodiversity is the foundation of ecosystem service to which human well-being is intimately linked. For example, breathable air, portable water, fertile soils, climate, and other ecosystem services. The farmer down the road will suffer due to the loss of this, and the most concerning part is that this will lead to climate change due to the lack of tree shades and dirt will dry up. We should be aware and concerned.
Thank you for your time. Well, there you have it. This is Taylor Silly in Northern California, where tree cutting and protesting is happening. Back to you, Heather.
Thank you, Taylor. We clearly have two differing views on how the environment is impacted through deforestation. I'm beginning to see how the triple bottom line affects the full societal cost benefit and is more than just monetary value. It sounds like we need to consider more things like how the land is used and the consumption rates and preservation of our natural resources like trees. Additionally, the impact of deforestation to the ecosystem and its biodiversity is another non-market value that we need to consider before it is way too late. Despite there being no assigned monetary value to the ecosystems and biodiversity, it clearly impacts the environment and has its own costs. Next, we have Arnold Meekum reporting live from the Forestry Center to tell us about the social bottom line for deforestation. Let's hear what he has to report. Over to you, Arnold.
Arnold Meekum reporting today on the social impacts of deforestation. Deforestation makes many social impacts today, both good and bad. Millions of people work in the logging industry, and if logging were banned, there would be a huge loss of resources. Many people would lose their jobs and businesses. At the same time, it would have a positive impact on the environment. Is there a way to balance the social, economic, and environmental need? It may be too early to tell. Forest industry professionals say they have been changing the way logging is done by pursuing sustainable management plans in forestry. By managing forest resources through low-impact grazing and strategic replanting, forest industry professionals believe they can extract just enough forest resources without depleting the forest's ability to renew itself. This doesn't make everything better or begin to repair the damage that has already been done by generations of unsustainable logging, but it's a better solution than what we've had in the past. Since we cannot completely stop logging at this time, sustainable development is vital to achieving social equity. By making purposeful changes that are meant to improve human life and the environment, we can satisfy the triple bottom line and complete the goals of economic advancement, environmental protection, and social equity at the same time.
Thank you, Arnold. And there you have it. Both sides of deforestation, from the timber industry, logging, and forestry management to the conservationists and protesters wanting to preserve our forests. I would like to leave you, our viewing audience, with a question or two to ponder. How do we protect both sides of the issue when both sides have a good argument for their stance? And lastly, how do we assign value to what we have now as forests? And will it be enough to outweigh the full societal costs of deforestation in the end? From the newsroom of WP News at 11, this is Heather signing off. Thank you for watching.